What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and I got another movie review for you guys, and that would be The Snowman. This one stars Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson, and Michael Fassbender plays Detective Harry Hole. No, that is not a typo. That is his name, and they did not change it from the book. Anyways, they're trying to solve the cases around the town of all these women going missing, and it's a serial killer, and that serial killer leaves little snowmen that they leave as their mark. Sure. Listen, when I saw the trailer to this film, I got excited because I love anything with Michael Fassbender in it. Even if it is just a mediocre movie, the guy always gives 110%. Guys, I can tell you that The Snowman falls under one of the worst movies I've seen this year. It is truly terrible, and you kind of have to witness it to just understand everything I'm about to say. So let's get real and break this down. Let's not be all negative here. Positives. Some of the shots, cinematography-wise, gorgeous. Very wide open landscapes. The mountains look beautiful. The snow looks luscious and white and just pure. Beautiful shots. Especially the three opening ones. They were not bad. And some of the shots that have that plague throughout the movie, they're fine. The music is passable. Doesn't really fit the movie because it's trying to make it more important than it actually is, but it's fine. Some of the acting, they try. Rebecca Ferguson has one scene where she tried. That's it for the positives. For the negatives, it is a laundry list of confusion and just befuddledness. There's your made-up word for the day, folks. Where to begin? We'll start with the writing. It could have been, at the very least, a basic murder mystery. It couldn't even do that. It was boring. There was no point to any of it. It was very cruel. For the sake of being cruel. The characters. What characters? We know little about these characters. I'm talking bare minimum. Michael Fassbender, alcoholic. Got an estranged son. Charlotte Gainsbourg. A mother of son that is estranged from Michael Fassbender. Rebecca Ferguson. She's helping Harry Hole solve the case. That's it. These characters are so weak and so underdeveloped that you do not care what is happening around them. This is supposed to be about a serial killer. A murder mystery is supposed to grab you. It's supposed to make it an intense thrill ride. You want to fear for these people's lives as they're solving these cases. But you don't, because you don't care. They're just so weakly written. It is astounding. You don't know anything about anyone. Even when the serial killer is revealed, their motives are stupid. It's asinine as to why they kill. And even then, you don't even know much about the killer. Maybe a scene. Maybe job occupation. That's it. Okay? And the way the movie ends, it's got one of the weakest endings I've seen all year. Michael Fassbender has a confrontation with the killer, right? Something happens. Michael Fassbender goes to certain people, and I'm trying not to spoil because I don't spoil. He goes to certain people in the next scene. And then it cuts to some random scene where he's talking and he says one line. And the movie just cuts to black and just ends. What a weak, pathetic excuse for an ending. That's the writing. Directing. What kind of style was to this movie? There was no distinct vision. It was bland It was boring, and ironically, just like the weather in the movie, it was cold. It was barren. There was no flair to this movie whatsoever. It was so bleak and gray. Thanks for the style, fam. On top of all that, this director had no vision in terms of where we were, what time of day it was. Well, I'll take that back. There was night and day scenes. I meant in terms of time-wise. What was the time frame of this movie? Where were they at half the time? What was happening? They use this non-linear structure in some scenes, and then in others it's a straight narrative. What? The acting. Michael Fassbender looked bored. Even he could not save this. He looked bored out of his mind. Rebecca Ferguson maybe had one scene where she was effective. Other than that, okay. Toby Jones is in this. He's in it for a shot. And he's credited. J.K. Simmons. What kind of accent was that? What was he doing? His part didn't even matter in the movie. I feel really bad for Val Kilmer in this movie. The guy seems like a good dude. And I realized he was struck with oral cancer. This movie made him look bad. I realized that he probably can't talk as much as he, could have back in the day. But if that is the case, why do you hire him? Because he literally has 3 scenes in the movie, all of which are pointless, by the way. They feel so pointless. And they ADR all of his lines. Or they cover up and make his ADR come from the back of his head. Because they'll have the camera behind him. Like, I felt so bad for him. The ADR wasn't even his voice. And probably the worst part about the entire movie is the editing. This is a poorly edited movie. Within the first 5 minutes, you know that this movie is going to be bad. You will have rushed scenes put together. That's how this movie is described. Or they will be so awkwardly jarring, it's incredible that this made it through and someone okayed this movie. The first scene has random cutting. It has fast cutting. Shots last a second. There's really no establishment to anything. They throw you into this movie and they expect you to care. That just shows you how haphazardly this movie is put together. Dialogue scenes will also be awkwardly jarring. Someone will be talking, then we'll go to someone else, then we'll have an L cut and then go back to the person. And just the way it was cut just seems so amateurish. And there was no sense of rhythm to this movie. That probably adds to the fact that it was boring, like I said earlier. They have inserted flashbacks, or they'll have non-linear scenes or shots that make no sense sequence-wise to what was happening before or what happened after. It felt like they were just randomly put there. They were trying to go for more of a horror effect with these flashback sequences. I get it, but it didn't work. It just felt lazy. And the biggest offense out of all the editing is cutting between 2 characters that are doing something at the same time but are in different locations. When you have a character doing something, then you switch to another character at a different location. It's not supposed to be noticeable. It's supposed to flow. It doesn't flow. It's awkwardly cut. It felt like it was cut by an amateur. You have Michael Fassbender in a scene with Charlotte Gainsbourg doing something Very awkward, by the way. She just leaves the frame. It stays on Michael Fassbender and just cuts to Rebecca Ferguson. She's doing something awkward and cut back. There was no weight to anything. It's almost like the movie was trying to get done so it wouldn't have to suffer anymore. It's not a complete failure because of some of the cinematography shots. So I can't give it the coveted F. But I'm going to give it a very, very heavy D-. I cannot believe this movie is seeing the light of day. It is awful. So what about you guys? Have you heard of the Snowman or whatever? Please comment down below and let me know. And as always, guys, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.